Good evening and welcome to Jackal Garage. That was the new intro put together by Jeff himself, and it is awesome.
It wasn't too bad. I kind of enjoyed it.
I like it because now it ties in all three shows together. So the one thing that Jackal Garage didn't have, it didn't have the our cool Viking beginning thing with the hammer and all that. And it didn't have the little alien voice and all that kind of stuff, talking about the What's New with Mike and Jeff network. So cool stuff. Glad it's up. It looks fantastic.
Well, I also thought it was nice because we used the other version of the Viking hammer on that one at the end instead, because in order to the hammer hitting and the logos on the side of the hammer, that's got that rising up out of the ground. So I was like, we'll use that. And then it's covered up by the skull for Jackal Garage.
With the engine revving.
My phone is making me crazy.
Uh-oh. Good evening, Adam. How are you, buddy?
Adam. I'm just trying to do my part, and my phone's going, no, I'm not going to let you.
I don't want to cooperate with you tonight. That's what your phone is saying.
And that's absolutely. If my phone had appendages, it would be giving me the bird right now. It'd be going, no, screw you, dude.
Anywho, things are going good in Arizona.
Cool.
We're starting to see the 90-degree temperatures, so summer is upon us, which means I will be hiding in my house for the rest of summer.
Finally, I'm sorry, it's working.
Oh, about time. Jeez.
I know. It's insane.
It's insane.
It's enough to make me crazy.
Just got my shot. Good for you, Joe. Got your shot.
Yay.
Good. You need that. Very
Joe's
cool.
Too legit to quit.
Arizona is doing good number wise. So and they opened up vaccinations to everybody. So that's a good thing.
Too bad the rest of the country isn't.
Yeah, well,
I read some stuff today that everything is spiking and everything's starting to go crazy again.
Some places, yeah, but here we're doing okay. We'll see.
Good.
Not going to hold my breath. Anyways, I got cars to work on. Do you got anything you want to chat about? I don't think we have any photos.
I don't have any photos. Just reiterate that the competition, the online competition stuff is online.
Yes.
So you can go and get your. There's a section there where the rules and guidelines are. I've already posted my work in progress. You can post work in progress pics for discussion, for get critiques, that kind of stuff.
So what we're talking about is we're having a painting competition.
Yes.
If you head over to our Discord channel, What's New with Mike and if you go to What's New with Mike and Jeff on Facebook, there's a link to Discord. You can go into Discord. You can get all the rules. It's pretty simple. Yep. Post a picture of your model.
Yeah, the area we're doing right now is for, because the guys had asked about, or would it be okay if they post on Discord to get critiques and advice and I mean that's absolutely perfect. You can do that. So that's already set up. I posted my pics up today of Bjorn, although he's not an entry. He's the project that I'm working on while everyone else is doing something. So.
Bjorn. All right, so painting competition goes until April 30th at 5 p.m. Arizona time.
Yep.
So, and again, I'll be doing Gazgul Thraka.
Yes.
Thraka, and I think
I am slacking on Gaslands project, so I'll be working on some just marine my Bjorn, the fell-handed model.
Oh, I'm not slacking on any projects. I just keep getting more.
Yeah. Well, it's like I was telling you in our pre-show conversation. I for Gaslands to convert Hot Wheels, for me personally, there's a lot more design work I have to do, or I feel I have to do, before I dive into a new car project.
Right.
Now, whether or not that's something that I've burdened myself with, but for me, it's not as easy. Like if I'm working on a model, a conversion here. It's plastic, even if it's soft, the white metal, I can make some real quick changes. I'm good to go. But you got to kind of like, if you're going to cut that car apart, you're going to drill holes. You got to be prepared for it. So
yes,
I'm not very well prepared.
Or you just buy like 10 of them, and that way when you mess one up, you just throw it to the junk pile and you just get another one out and you start all over again.
Which is exactly what I do with plastic miniatures. I haven't quite. Maybe I've got my Hot Wheels vaccination and didn't realize it.
Oh no! I hope they don't make a vaccination for buying Hot Wheels.
Well, you keep going, and I think you're patient zero.
I am patient zero. I've got some new ones I want to show you to help inspire
switch cameras. You can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, let me switch cameras. I've got to cover you
up. Put the hood on me. I hate when you put the hood on me. I feel like I'm a prisoner. Nah, let me out.
Sorry, I got you trapped. But it's for your own good. I don't want my lights to blind you.
Unfair.
There, my lights didn't blind you. Joe, I'm sorry they didn't give you a sticker, buddy.
Dude, that's not fair. I'd tell them to take it back until you get your sticker.
Take it back. But they should have given you a card.
Something.
You got something. All right, I'm going to take full screen from you.
What you've done and what you've gone through.
Let me fix my camera real fast. Look at that. Nice and straight. Just the way we like it. All right. So this is a flying custom, but this Volkswagen Bug is a custom Volkswagen Bug. They've done it before in other versions where it's kind of rusty and crusty, but right. I just love this Bug. You got it's a split window, which if you know anything about Volkswagen Bugs, the split window is a very desirable bug. And basically they've taken the fenders off of it. And I've built a couple of these already. You got the little rack on top. You can also file that down and just make it a smooth top. Right. But the engine in the back's got two little exhaust ports sticking out of it. I don't know if you can really see them too. Let me see if I can zoom in on those a little bit. You got those cool little exhaust ports sitting out the back.
Right.
You can easily just say those are machine guns, and you can put some exhaust someplace else on it.
Right.
But it is a cool car. I love this Bug.
And well, you're kind of bug crazy anyway.
Yes, I am. So
and the split window is the split.
But if you're at Target, it's the only place that sells the flying customs. So that I know of. That's the only place I ever see the flying.
Are they Hot Wheels brand or flying custom something new?
No, they're Hot Wheels.
They're Hot Wheels. Okay.
It's a special set they put out. Those are the cars that they got in this particular set.
Hang on a minute. Ooh, is that there's an El Camino, a Mustang?
Yeah.
Ooh, that Monte Carlo.
Yes, cool. I've got a couple of the Monte Carlos if you're interested.
Dodge Demon.
The Mustang or the El Camino, the engine's in the back.
Well, that's where that should be.
That's where that thing is sticking out. And the Demon is actually a really nice car.
Yeah, so, I mean the Demon, the El Camino, the Dodge, is that a Charger down there at the bottom, or a Malibu, or?
Well, you got a Mustang Mach 1, a
Monte Carlo, the Monte Carlo
SS. You got a Firebird, the Camino, the Demon. You got a custom Mustang. You got a Pontiac Firebird, and you got the Bug.
What on the Monte Carlo? What year is that? 74?
No, 86 Monte Carlo.
What?
It's an 86.
My boss, because the hood is very distinctive on that Monte Carlo. When I worked for Hobbytown USA at 28 at the Freeway and Cactus, he had a Monte Carlo just like that, and he used to let me use it to run errands for the shop. And oh my God, I love driving that thing. Yeah,
it's a neat car. I like them, but there's no Ford Pinto. No, they don't have a Ford Pinto, Joe. But I can get you one. But anyways, these are some great inspirational cars. If you want those, I can get them to you.
Yeah, I'd love to get my hands on the Demon, the El Camino.
So you want the Demon, the El Camino,
Monte Carlo.
Okay, I will get those in the mail for you.
I will merge them into one car.
This is why we do this. So anyways, this is a cool Bug. It's kind of Gaslands up a little bit. Obviously, this 80s paint job on it. You can always strip the paint, repaint it. But it's a neat car. The other thing that's out is the repaint of the Big Air Bel Air.
Oh, sweet.
Look at that repaint. I love that red. So
I mean, it's not purple, but it's nice.
But I would strip all that decals off, except for the stuff going down the top. I'd strip all the stuff down on the side and just leave it red.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's a nice car. So anyways, that's a repaint. Just like we showed last week, they repainted the Erikenstein. This is the repaint on the Big Air Bel Air. Now, this is a new car that just came out for 2021, as you can see right here. I don't know. Tim and I talked about this car because it popped up on the Gaslands forums.
It's a Cylon.
It's a something, but it's got a lot of cool, like that platform up top right there is already set up for like some sort of a turret mounted gun. You've got a big compartment, so it could be a cool truck. These things that are running across the front right there could be machine guns. So you kind of already... It's kind of, you could say that's a Ram in the front as well. I think the thing that makes this car hard to appreciate is the fact that it's so chrome and it's got these Japanese flowers.
You can't see any detail.
Right. It's blinding. It's hard for me to even show it. So what I'm going to do is this week is I'm going to take this out of the package. I'm going to pop it. I'm going to strip all the chrome off. I'm just going to prime it and throw a wash on it, and then we'll revisit this next week. But I think this car has a lot of potential for Gaslands.
I would completely agree with that.
So we'll take a closer look at it. This is one I really wanted to show you guys because this is a new car for 2021.
Well, apparently Joe says Kim's got cars for you.
Yes, she does.
Look at this, man. Men's wives are buying you cars. What is this about?
She hit me up on
thinner, long hair, back Mike has just become,
she was buying them for Joe, but then Joe's like, I don't want them anymore. So she says she has so much fun buying them, she's just going to start buying me cars. And she got me a really cool Volkswagen Bug Matchbox car, so I'm kind of excited.
You have officially become the godfather of Hot Wheels. people are coming and going, Godfather, I have some Hot Wheels for you. I found it at Kmart. I wish you and your family the best.
So anyways, I want to strip this one down. I want to explore this car a little bit more and really kind of see if this has the look that I think it's going to have. And I think it's going to be more of a space age, futuristic look of a vehicle, but I think it has a lot of potential.
I would call it the Frankenfurter.
There you go. And then as far as cars that I'm working on, here is the wife's Bronco that I've been working on. So
I would call that one the OJ.
The OJ?
The OJ.
He's getting my cast offs. Thanks. That's funny. So anyways, this is where I'm at with my wife's Bronco. I just got the fenders done white. I got to go in and do some detail painting. But this is pretty much wrapped up. So this is kind of what it's going to look like when it's done.
Now, is that all white? I'm seeing kind of a green tint to it.
It's the body is, and it could just be my lighting.
No, we can actually that better.
There you go.
Oh.
So what I want to do is I want to do the door handles white. I want to do the side mirrors white. I need to paint the turn back brake lights silver, and then hit them with a clear red. And that's pretty much it. And then I want to do the detail. I want to paint the Bronco in the front grille white.
Right.
So that's kind of where this is going to sit.
Is that the model that everyone's saying they're Jeep guys are going, it looks too much like a Jeep?
I don't know. It's Ford.
It's either I think it's Ford in their new. I think it's the new Bronco. There's been I don't want to say complaints, but Jeep guys are accusing them of copying Jeeps.
Well, I think Jeep guys are just jealous.
I would agree.
Broncos are cool.
The funny thing about that is car company. I mean, look at the Firebird and the Camaro. I mean, come on, car companies have been ripping off car companies. Of course, they're all both owned by GM, so that's just one thing.
To me, if this is the original, this is a throwback to the original Bronco. Because if you go back to like the 60s version of the Broncos, they were just boxes, and that was it. And this feels just like it. So I don't think it's a ripoff of the Jeep. But
I used to drive a '76 Chevy Blazer back in the '80s, and I saw a brand new Chevy Blazer on the road the other day, and it's like, oh look, it looks like every other SUV on the planet.
Right.
So there's nothing distinctive about it.
So I'm gonna finish this up. I just gotta do some detail painting. Tonight, what I want to work on is I'm gonna drill out the 2 headlights up here to put machine guns in, and this is pretty much ready for paint. So I just want to get the machine gun holes drilled out.
I see you Jeff the windshield on that.
Well, and there was a reason for that, because there's no interior, because this is a complete hack job.
I expect now that's perfectly fine, but I expect you to scratch build interior.
Anyways, moving on. I got to work on David's Erikenstein last week. We got the wheels all glued in place. I need to mount the weapons tonight, and he had a request. He wants a couple of the missiles. He wants them to look like they're kind of just wired into the side of the vehicle. Kind of held in place there. So we're going to work on that a little bit.
Right.
And I got Darren's last car drilled out today.
Very nice.
So this is like a really cool, old school, I don't know, race car of some sort.
Looks more like a roadster of some kind.
Yeah. So this is plastic, this is metal, and this is metal. But because of the way it comes apart, this is going to be a good 3-colored paint job. Sweet. So I'll take this, I'll paint it red. I'll keep the body. I'll go with a gray instead of the silver metallic, but I'll have that, and then I'll do this in black. And this is just going to be a pretty simple build. I'm calling it a classic build. I'm not going to say simple. And the reason for that is I want this to remember the other classic car I did for Darren.
Yeah.
I want him to have 2 really cool classic cars, so that he can have a team of them out on the track. Sweet. So all I'm really going to do is beside the grill right there on both sides, I'm just going to drill a hole, put a tube in, and it's just going to have 2 machine guns. I'm not going to do a lot of chopping and crazy stuff to the car. I want it to look clean.
That looks like something the Red Skull would drive.
Exactly what I'm going for. I want, because if Darren ever wanted to play an RPG game and he's doing some kind of crazy pulp game and he wanted to use his cars for it, he could. It wouldn't look Gaslands totally.
No, that's cool.
That's kind of where I'm at with everything. So
very cool.
Take off full screen here and get to work. So anyways, this has to get into the paint stripper though.
Paint stripper.
And I need to get the wheels off.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I've been experimenting with white ink.
Yeah?
Ooh.
White ink as in like a wash?
Yeah, the Vallejo white wash.
Yeah.
White wash. Yeah, I've been practicing using it as a glaze, which is a little more difficult than you would expect.
Okay.
To do a white glaze. I mean, it's far because it takes a little longer to build up, and you've got to have super clean materials you're using for when you fit it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what your results are.
For some reason, I have the soundtrack to now I can't think of the name of it.
Uh-oh.
It'll come to me. I'm singing songs from the movie.
Well, the problem is it's going to come to you at like 2:00 in the morning. You're going to send me a text and go, "Oh, I was talking about this." I'll be like, huh? What? Why you send me a text at 2:00 in the morning?
No, it's the movie that they show in cinemas. It was starring Tim Curry, Susan Sarandon. Has like the Time Warp song. I forgot. Oh, God, man.
Talking about the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Rocky Horror. There you go. Thank you. God, I hate being old.
Oh my God.
Well,
no, I can understand why you can forget that show every once in a while, because sometimes it brings back nightmares.
I actually love the soundtrack to that movie.
I actually went out trying to find the heavy metal soundtrack. I don't have it.
That's hard to find.
Yes, it is. That's what I figured. All right, you guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in real fast to show you guys.
Well, you can get this full screen, but I'm not working anything.
No, it's not that important. This vehicle doesn't have a lot of build slots, and because I'm already putting tracks on it, I'm kind of chewing up some of my build slots for that. So I'm not going to have a lot of weapons on it. The part in the back is going to end up being a drop weapon, simply because that doesn't take up a build slot. So so the car is only going to have a couple machine guns, and what I was going to do is I'm going to leave the main headlights. But what I want to do is I want to drill out these 2 upper turn signal lights that are on the bus. But because they are rounded, what I want to do first is take my center punch and try to get me a starting spot before I start drilling so I don't drift.
Right.
So we've done this before on the show, and things kind of go south. And all this is when it's just it's a hardened steel tip. It's kind of sharp. And when you push down, there's a release mechanism that snaps it, and it gives it a really hard whack. Is a whack a good word to use for that?
Whack would be a good word.
And it just gives you a starting point. So that way, when you go to drill,
you don't have drill bit drift.
Right. So, and now I kind of went a little, I'm off camera because I was zoomed in. I'm at a little bit of an angle. So now I'm just punching at an angle, and it's just pushing the metal away. So that just gave me a starting point for my drill bit. And that's all I'm doing. So it's a good technique. It's helpful. And you can also use this for bullet damage. And that's what we talked about on the show.
Yeah. Where'd you get that at?
Harbor Freight.
Oh, I may have to go to that one over in my area.
$5. It was just $5.
Even though for the competition this month, the background Cold War is kind of in a ceasefire, I'm still working on the pieces that I'm going to be using for my photography background.
Yeah.
I'm working on these little... Hello.
Hold on. Hey, I'm streaming.
Oh, sorry. Bye.
That would be my wife. Anyways, moving on with your conversation.
I take it she's at work.
She's it's 7:30, so she's getting off and coming home. She just forgot I was streaming.
Yeah,
she's like, it happens.
But no, I've got these pillars that are wolf pillars. They're covered with runes. They have wolf skulls on them. So I'm making them into little ice pillars that will be in the foreground and the background of the base that I'm going to be doing my photography on.
Very cool.
And then eventually they will make their way to my my army display stand for my army. That's the plan anyway.
Is that the master plan?
Yes.
Get a display put together for your army.
Yeah, well, if I ever decide to play in any kind of a tournament, I have discovered that it's easier to move your army around if you have a nice display tray. It's easy to use it if they're doing any kind of a painting competition. And it just really complements the army while it's sitting on the table waiting for the game to start.
Well,
but that's plans down the road.
All right, so I'm going to have to burrow out some of this metal here. And the drill bits I'm using, these are DeWalt actual metal drill bits. So they're actually meant for cutting metal. So if you don't have any, you might want to consider, if you're going to get into drilling stuff on your cars, you may consider getting yourself a couple small metal drill bits for a variety of the different sizes that you're going to use.
Yep.
And yes, I'll probably drill my fingers. Which ones I have left?
I have a set of those.
Of the
I have a set of carbine steel and I have a set of diamond tip.
Yeah. It just makes life a little bit easier than trying to, like, I don't know what my regular pin drill bits are. I'm sure they're decent. They'd probably work, but if you got the right tools, use them.
Yeah, well, the reason I actually went out and picked this set up because my normal pin vise are the standard steel, and they got through it, but they dulled up so quick.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to. Some of them are big enough I can actually sharpen them, but some of them it's just not worth it.
Yeah, and just throw them away. Hey, if you go to Harbor Freight, they sell plenty of inexpensive drill bits.
I may have to check out my local one that I just found.
That's why I keep bringing it up. Now, when I use my drill press, I put cutting oil on everything.
Oh, God, yeah.
I don't see any reason to put cutting oil on this.
Nah, you're not turning at an RPM that's
right.
Yeah, because as we all know, when you heat metal, it eventually starts to soften, which can destroy your tip and just a lot of different things.
Just make a mess of things. It's kind of neat, though, as you can tell I'm about to punch through because you can see just a little indentation on the inside.
Starts a little bit of a dimple. A little bit. I was preparing for the Godzilla versus Kong release on Wednesday today, so I watched Godzilla King of Monsters.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I am super pumped to watch that.
HBO Max.
Well, it comes out Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, I have to do this dirty 4-letter word on Wednesday.
Yeah, but that's also your weekend beginning, yeah?
Uh-huh.
There you go.
And I start my weekend out with a party on stream. All right, so there's the first one I drilled, and it actually turned out really good because I was able to keep the bead around the, let me zoom in. I'm sure you guys can't see that.
You kind of the frame around the light.
Yeah, you can see that I was able to keep a little bit of the frame around the light. Now this one, I got my punch wasn't centered, so I'll be okay though. I think I can salvage this. So, but all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in, like, I got some of this brass tubing, and this is actually because I cut it, I mangled the ends of it, but it's actually got it's a hole. It's a tube, and I'm just going to mount some of this in these holes, and that's it. Those are going to be my guns. I try to show you guys it doesn't have to be fancy, 3D printed plastic. You can just use a tube. I'm also trying to, start getting ready for maybe teaching that class in Vegas.
I'm hoping you really do. I think you'll be in your element.
I hope it happens. Again, I don't think they're planning yet. So to fix this one, though, I'm going to go in at an angle and then slowly start turning upwards. as I'm cutting to get my straight. He's just getting my cast offs. Oh. So anyways, we'll get this one drilled out, and then I'll have my 2 holes. I'll get my gun barrels put in, and then we'll be good to go. I'm excited to have this one going. Got to kind of manhandle it, though. Not the most exciting TV. Sorry, guys.
I'm not talking much either. I'm just sitting there working on these skulls, and so
I can share with you, some personal thoughts. I'm starting to get a little. And Adam, I believe you're still watching. I hope you're still watching, because he 3D prints. I'm starting to get a little turned off by 3D printing.
Why is that?
Well, I like certain people, like if you're going and you're getting a file that was created specifically for 3D printing, like you're going to print off some Gaslands stuff, and you paid the person, or it's on Thingiverse and it's free or whatever it is. But there's a lot of it's the copyright stuff. There's people out there that are 3D printing stuff that is copywritten or IP.
Yep.
And it's kind of like, it's a little bit of a turnoff. And the only reason it's kind of a turnoff is like they're printing Epic stuff and War Master stuff and things like that. And it's like, I spent years, it's more of a jealousy thing. I spent years collecting that stuff and paying a premium for it, and you guys are just printing this stuff off of your 3D printers.
Well, the other downside to that kind of activity is because right now technology is always running ahead of regulation.
Right.
And when people do exactly that, a new technology comes out and they start going crazy and they start doing literally things they really shouldn't be doing. They're not really hurting anybody, really, but they shouldn't be doing it. And then what eventually happens, it goes to a point that people notice, and then they come in and they're legislated beyond belief. You follow me?
Yeah.
And then it's a pain to get anything done. Where if we, people just realize that, hey,
Yeah, well, it's the whole Napster thing. So for those of you that weren't around for Napster, it's technology allowed us to. I won't get 3D print files from anything I can't go by. See, that's the cool thing. That's how it should be done. But when Napster was around, it was like, oh my gosh, we can get all this free music, and people were downloading. And then it turned out to be illegal. So eventually, 3D printing is going to go that route.
Well, they kind of force the hand, because Napster, we're talking a lot bigger dollars, but they start forcing the hand of the original artist, and that ends up it ends up being regulated to the point that nothing can happen, and it's going to be
like getting a photocopy of something from Office Max. So you're going to be like, do you have the documentation to show that you can legally do this? Like,
it's
going to turn into one of those situations.
Yeah,
but no, it's a little discouraging that they're like, and it's a little bit just the jealousy on my part. It's I busted my butt collecting this stuff, and people are just like, I just 3D print that.
Well, I had when I worked at Hobbytown USA, I got a phone call because I had started to notice that a series of books in my role-playing section were missing, and I didn't show sales for, and that was the Palladium Rift series. I started getting books. I just was like, where are these books going? It started off, and then I started noticing it was getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm really starting to freak out about because the books are between $30 and $50 a book. And then one day out of nowhere, I get a phone call from a guy that says, "Hey, have you been noticing that your risk books are missing?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And he goes, "Well, I know who's been doing it, and I wanted to let you know who it is." And my first thought was, "Okay, well, why are you doing this?" And he goes,
Right.
"Well, because I come in and buy these books, and I pay full retail for them because that's the right thing to do. And this guy is getting them all for free."
Right. Well, he's stealing them.
Yeah, he's stealing them, and so it's very similar to what you're talking about. The fact that you paid, the legitimate price for these because that's how it works. But the problem is they'll do it enough to where people will start to notice, people that matter, people that are being financially impacted by it in some way, and then it'll get regulated. But the pendulum always swings really far the other direction when it swings.
Right.
So it's going to be, yeah.
And I kind of get it. It's like you're printing stuff that no longer is being made. So
you're absolutely, but eventually that won't be enough.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Well, the next thing is then it's like, well, I just don't want to buy the new whatever model, and I'll just 3D print it.
Yep.
There's all those sites out there. I don't know. It's just a little bit like, I don't know, a little discouraging, especially because I'm a collector.
Right.
As we know.
Yep.
And it's a little discouraging that people are like, they're just going out and they're printing the same stuff that I pay for.
Yeah. So, well, to give you an example, it's like, when I wrote the novels, my money that I made from putting those novels together was based on the number of sales. And we even with the novels, you have guys that photocopy them, convert them to PDF, and then they sell them on online that way or give them away. And it gets frustrating because it's like, well, people actually make their living doing these things, but eventually, right now they're making stuff that's not in production, and that's kind of the rationale, but it never ends there.
No.
Next
it's just going to be, I just don't want to buy this, or I don't want to pay that.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe it's just the fuddy-duddy in me.
Well, actually, that whole process is what brought around GW's avid hatred for internet sales. When they initially, back in the 90s and early aughts, they were absolutely against internet stuff because it was fairly new, and people were doing a lot of things on there that just because they could, and it just gets frustrating. So it's 6 one, half does the other, but it never ends with we're just going to do stuff that's out of production. They're going to then go, well, I can do this and I can do that.
Well, but it's also going to have a negative effect on the secondary market.
Yep.
Because now it's going to be like, hey, I want to buy this cool War Master army off of you. And I'm thinking I'm getting a GW product. And again, War Master is an expensive army, naturally. Yep. And next thing I'm going to turn out, it's going to be like some 3D printed army that the guy took 2 days to print.
Well, yeah.
Paint and sold it to me. And it's.
Well, this year on eBay, on some of my pre-painted stuff that I sell,
yeah,
I've had guys contact me wanting me to confirm that it is a legitimate Games Workshop model, that it's not one of the knockoffs you can get.
Well, it makes sense. I would be the same.
And I'm like, nope, it's absolutely not. And I end up sending them, because I as you know, I keep all the boxes, all the packaging.
Right.
So I end up basically sending them pictures of that. Go, nope, here it is. Here's where I bought it. I don't have the receipts, but I see it. And I have been working on getting on Etsy.
Oh yeah, how's that working out?
I'm having some software glitches right now. That's kind of been frustrating. But
you have a lot of software glitches.
No, this is really weird. They can't figure it out. It's I'm trying to upload my catalog, what I want to sell, and it's not letting me, and they don't know why yet. So we're trying to figure it out. But they have a lot more of a stringent process, especially with stuff like that. Because, like, for example, I have to list all the information because I'm basically selling a pre-made product that I've painted.
Right.
I have to list everything about the product and the manufacturer and everything, and credit that in my ad. That, you know, I am selling a painted version of this model produced by this company. Here's the SKU. Here's the barcode. You know, they are very strict about it. It's a lot bigger process than just throwing stuff up on eBay.
Right. Well, and Adam brings up a good point. He says the recasting issue has been an issue long before 3D printers.
Oh, yeah.
And I agree. Recasting has always been an issue. I just think 3D printing is making it a little bit easier for some things versus recasting. Because recasting, you had to know a guy that knew a guy that knew a guy.
Other than Forge World's had a real problem with it, because I can actually order any. I actually came across Primarks for sale on eBay. They were called brand new, selling for half the price they sell for from Forge World.
Wasn't that the Chinese company?
And they're all Chinese and Russian knockoffs.
Yeah. No, that's all legit. And again, technology is helping them.
Yeah.
Because now they can take a 3D print and make a good mold and then recast. So
they don't even have they can actually scan it with a laser
and
create a mold from that.
Yep.
It's insane. So
it's just something that popped up this week.
Yeah, I can understand it.
I'm like, that's cool. You can just print that stuff off. And what it was, just I watched a video. His name's Luke on YouTube.
Right.
Luke Terrain or something like that. And
he
printed out a bunch of War Master stuff in 2 days and printed. I'm like, well, that's pretty crappy. I got to buy that stuff. So here's my bus. So all I did was put the 2 guns sticking out the front, and I went a little long with them just for cosmetic purposes. I wanted them to kind of stand out, and they're kind of angled a little bit.
A little bit of camper to them there.
Yeah, just coolness, cool factor. So now from here, I still need to do. This bugs me right here. Let me get my pointer out. I need to make this a little bit more solid right here, just to hide some of that.
I just mount rockets coming out of it.
Well, if I had enough build slots, I would. I'm out of build slots.
I think that's the other reason I've been slowing down on because I'm making stuff and I'm going. You keep talking about build slots. I don't have any reference to that.
You're gonna find out one day.
I actually even asked at the local hobby shop, and I said, "Yes, carry Gaslands." They're like, "What?" I'm like, never mind.
Never.
You have answered my question, even though you didn't realize that you had.
So this is my build for that. So yeah, I just gotta. And all I'm really gonna do is take a piece of plastic card and just make this look a little solid. Just make it look more solid, or I'll just take some epoxy sculpt and just make it look solid. I don't think I'm gonna get too carried away with that. I just want it to look a little bit more solid.
Epoxy sculpt is your friend.
Yeah. So, and then from there, it's paint time. So I'll get this all painted up. And I broke one of my.
This is my latest Big Air Bel Air conversion.
It's adorable.
I melted it down and recast.
So one of the reasons I put the green stuff all over back in here is because I was afraid if I ever popped these off, it'd be having the green stuff would offer me a way of gluing them back on because I broke one of my exhaust pipes.
I'm going to use my favorite color.
Purple?
Haviland Sunset.
Oh, I thought it was Gilliman Blue Wash.
No, that's my favorite wash.
Oh. All right, so that's fixed. You guys didn't even know I broke it. All right, let's get to work on David's car.
David's car.
So last week when David was on, we chit-chatted and kind of came up with a plan on what he wanted to do with his car. And he wanted rockets, so we're going to give him some bloody rockets. So what I did is I pulled the rocket pack off the Implements of Carnage, and we kind of just messed around with different spots, and that's kind of where he settled with it, which is right here. So we're going to go ahead and get that glued on, just like that. That's all we're going to do. But the other thing we wanted to do two things. We wanted to kind of strap some rockets onto the side here, like they're just strapped on and kind of haphazard and nothing real particular. Yep. And we also want to make a box inside the compartment right here. And that box is going to have a bunch of small little missiles or bombs in it that are from my Aeronautica Imperialis stuff.
Ooh.
So what we'll probably start with is building this box. So it should be relatively simple to build, I hope. And it doesn't have to be super deep or anything like that. It's just going to have like a couple small bombs in it. So this is just going to be a lot of plastic card. And since here's already got kind of a flat surface right here.
Right.
So all I need to do is put a piece of plastic card that fits there. And I'll probably just cut a piece out and just build a box and just put it in there. Shouldn't be rough. Yeah, I'll probably just build it from the underside. Yeah, anyways, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go, guys. That's all we can do here. I have no plan. I have no way of knowing how I'm going to do this, so we will make it work. So we'll use really thin plastic card, though, because that will give me the most flexibility. If I use too rigid of plastic, first of all, it's so thick that it's going to take up a lot of the space. And it's so rigid, it makes it hard to work with.
Right.
So sometimes it's just easier to work with thinner stuff. I need my scissors. Don't play with scissors.
Hey, stop running.
I'm not running.
Don't be running with scissors.
So we'll just trim off a little piece here, and hopefully we'll measure. We won't measure. We'll just fake it. We're just going to fake it till we make it. I'm okay with that. This is kind of the fun stuff. Just kind of ad-libbing, I guess, would be the word.
Kit bashing, rifting, just a number of things.
Well, I'm not even measuring, though. I'm just kind of like, that kind of works.
It's kit bashing.
I'm getting there. I know it's not the smartest thing to do, but it does add excitement to my life. There, I think we're good.
Trying to see if my highlights show up on this. They do. They do.
Let me see.
On the ropes, holding all the stuff on. I've got added a little bit of Avalon Sunset to that brown.
Lovely. Just lovely.
Yeah, I can't wait to seal these and give this ice just this massive Bosco. Yeah.
All right, so we'll get this piece in first, and all I'm going to do is just glue it in place, and I'll probably just have it stick up a little bit because it'll be easy to file this all flat once I'm done.
Right.
And since this one has kind of a surface to work with, this will be the easiest of them all to do. That looks like all built up glue.
Well, I'm really hoping that the painting competition this month not only has a good turnout, but I'm hoping we have a Gaslands or two entered.
I hope so too.
That would be awesome.
I could enter something.
You're doing gospel.
That's true.
We're not really entering anyway. We're just kind of having projects that go right along with what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Adam could enter something.
It's true.
Mr. Adam, would you be so kind?
And I think once we get this one under our belt, then if we do it again, maybe we'll expand out to different categories and stuff. But
this first, I think right now, because of what we're trying to accomplish, is just getting photos for the show.
Yep.
I think we're in the right spot. I think we're going in the right direction.
I agree.
Sorry, I heard my name and I missed what was said. The painting competition. We're hoping you enter something for Gaslands. Or it'd be cool if you entered something from Gaslands. Do a Gaslands build for the painting competition. No influencer. We're just optimistic. I must have messed up my glue tip here. Been having lots of problems with my super glue lately.
I guess Lenny's shoulder's been really making him crazy.
Yeah.
Hasn't been able to paint or do anything really. His shoulder or his elbow. I think it's his elbow, actually, now that I say it.
Well, that sucks. Andy's going through all that shit right now.
Yeah. Well, he can't lift. Adam says he could do that. I was thinking doing something from War Machine, but I could do Gaslands.
Oh, now I want to see War Machine.
Do whatever you want to, Adam. I was just commenting on how I really kind of hope we A, have a good turnout, and B, that we may have a Gaslands car or two. Actually, I was hoping that David would be entering something, but now that I see you're working on David's car.
Maybe David's going to enter my car build for him.
Yeah, he could.
Good. No, actually, I was kind of. I'm excited to see your War Machine. It's just nice to see you're doing War Machine in general. Like, that's just one of those games that just had a really bad go for a while.
Yeah, Adam doing War Machine, Don doing Battletech stuff. Even though it's a commission, it's just nice to see that different stuff going on.
Just slowly chipping away here. I have Gaslands build in mind that could be cool for the comp. There you go. And I'm sure you got a few cool parts. I remember you posted up a whole big old box of parts you had.
I'm trying to talk my buddy in Connecticut to entering something.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's home still recovering from his open heart surgery.
Would that be great?
Yes, it would be.
Look at that. I do pay attention.
Because he's actually he can actually sit at a table for a length of time. So he sent me a pic of a model he's working on. So I said, you should enter that in the competition.
Like a scale model?
What, Greg?
Yeah, they do a scale model or?
No. He's doing some Marines. Some Marines for his Space Marine Army.
Everybody's painting Marines. Well, Adam, either way you go, I will be happy to see what you create. My box is coming along very boxy.
Yeah, between the dice tray and the stuff Darren is giving us, it's going to be pretty exciting.
Oh, just for those of you that are watching, I started work on a new. So I'm actually going to stain the dice tray. So it's not even stain. It's a tint, and I got this over at the old lobby. It's a one step water-based tint for natural surfaces. I figured I'd give it a shot, and I'm actually happy with it. I did hit it with a sealant, a satin finish, but this really pulls out the graining better. Plus, the dice tray I'm using is a little bit bigger. This is the dice tray I'm using, and it has a better wood grain to it, where the other ones I didn't have this kind of a wood grain to it. But the reason I'm doing this is when I do burn the wood, it does affect the glue. It does weaken the glue and causes problems. So that's why I want to go to a stain process. And this is just like a tint. So this was a sample, and I'm happy with it. It turned out good. And I hit it with a polyurethane clear satin finish. So that will be the dice tray, and I will get that. I'm hoping to have that done this weekend.
Now, I do have a technical question for you.
Sure, tech away.
Is it possible, because you said when you do the burn technique, it weakens the glue? Is it possible to do the burn to the wood components and then assemble it?
Well, I buy the boxes already assembled.
Ah, okay. So it's affecting the glue that was used in the manufacturing process.
Right.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Now I could re-glue it. Also, when I burn it, the glue does not change colors. The glue just stays like it turns like a whitish color.
Yep.
So that's why I want to go to this process to see how this does.
To stain it, yeah, makes sense.
And if I get it done this weekend, if I don't like it, then I can always redo it.
Yeah, true.
Because I won't put the picture in. Like I won't secure the picture until after the wood part's all done and satin finished and everything like that. So we'll be good. All right, so I got David's box done for the sides anyways.
Woo!
Now all I got to do is put the bottom in, which the bottom, I'm going to do it haphazardly. I'm not going to get too particular about the bottom. Because it's the bottom and no one's going to really see it. So there's no reason to get excited about it. And then what will happen is once all this glue dries, because I used a lot of super glue to kind of fill it in, I'll just take a sanding stick and I'll just sand it all flat.
Right.
So it'll be good.
Yeah, sounds good.
And then David's box will be done. Then what we're going to do is I'm just going to haphazardly throw a bunch of bombs in there.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen these before. These are from Aeronautica Imperialis.
No, I haven't.
These are all the extra bombs I get from the Orc planes that I have. So there's, a few different sizes and styles. So I'm just going to take like one of each. And I'm just going to kind of haphazardly throw them in the box. And just to, I'm kind of going a little orcish with this build, if you couldn't tell.
Right. That makes sense.
Because, I am kind of an orcish kind of guy.
Yes, you are.
So. But this is kind of the fun stuff with building. Is you just kind of start gluing stuff together, and you're like, "Hey, that works."
That's true.
Like it doesn't always have to be complicated.
I always seem to I think I have an innate ability to just make things more complicated all by myself.
Well, yeah, but that's just how you live your life.
Thanks a lot.
Who loves you, Jeff?
Sometimes you're just an ass.
Sometimes. Boy.
No, that's when you're being mild. Then there's days like today.
Oh, come on. So what I'm doing here is I'm making a little L piece. Clear some of this stuff out. Just make a little L piece, and I'm cutting it a little short. And I'm just going to glue it right there, and that's going to be it. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect on the inside, but you're not going to see the inside.
Right.
Because the inside is going to be covered with bombs. Bomb.com.
There you go. That'll do it.
So... Did we already talk about the upcoming schedule with the shows that I'll be missing?
No, we haven't in a while. Refresh my memory.
Well, like I'm going to be in California on the April 10th.
Right.
So I'll be missing that show.
Is that a What's New or is that a Jackal Garage?
That's a What's New.
All right, yeah. Because I had planned on doing that by myself.
Yeah. And that's it.
Okay.
So we talked about it.
Yeah. I just forgot the dates.
Hey, Jeff Smith is watching us.
No, I was actually checking something on my phone, so I popped in and popped back out. So
I just got glue all over my hands. Yay.
Yay, glue.
You know, it's really good for cleaning that off.
What?
Pure acetone.
There you go.
Sure, it's not good for you when not being on your skin and all, but you know, they use it for cleaning fingernails, so it actually cleans glue off quite nicely.
It does actually.
So, anyways, this is done. So, let me zoom in on this for you guys real quick. So there's my box. I just built a box inside of there. The bottom is just a piece of L, and it's cut a little short, as you can see. See a little gap there on the bottom there. But once that's all painted up and there's bombs inside of there, no one's going to know.
Right.
And it's sticking out pretty far. But what I'll end up doing is I'll end up just taking a sanding stick and just, this is thin plastic card, and that's just going to go down real quick.
Yeah.
So
cool.
What do you think?
I think it was awesome, dude. And again, I'm still amazed at the number of different ways that car can be
built. It is amazing. I think it's probably it's one of the most popular cars, I think, in Gaslands, which to me is a little shocking because I do think there are still a lot of other great cars out there. I think the Bone Shaker, like the old 50 or the old 30 mile or like the old roadster cars are better.
Okay.
Yeah. But because this is a modern day truck and it looks really cool like this, I think people just more gravitate towards it. Just because it looks more like a modern day truck. And you know what I'm doing. So you've seen this though, right? No, you weren't here last week.
No. Ooh, there you go.
So remember I talked about the scaling of, some of these cars don't scale up quite right.
Right.
Like this was some like 6-wheeled, heavy duty military truck, but it was the same size as the Erikenstein, which didn't scale right. So I'm taking advantage of that, and I cut the front of the other truck off, and I put this in its place. So now it just looks like a full truck bed.
That looks awesome.
and I'm rolling 6 wheels. I'm rolling 6 wheels deep.
I have the front half of an American Style in my bits box right now.
Yeah, so all you got to do is find a truck bed for it, or you could take. Didn't we talk about doing like a van or something like that?
Yeah, we talked about doing a couple things, panel truck or something along those lines.
Yeah. So, anyways, but I just had this sitting in my box. This is a Matchbox, and I just was like, that looked cool. So that's what's going on there. And then I got a couple. When I cut Gazgul's skulls off, I'm gonna have a couple skulls. I might put those on the post back here, just to have a little fun, give it a little voodoo magic. But that's a project that will be coming up. And then this is the truck that I've been working on for D.
Yep.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put IOG. I just painted this afternoon, so I can't really mess with it. But I'm going to put IOG decals on the doors.
Yep.
And then I'm going to dull coat it down and weather it up. And this is the car that has the 2 machine guns sticking out the front.
Right.
So I should have this done for D pretty soon. Actually, I think I have all the trucks done for D. All the vehicles done.
That'd be
and then I
cool.
built a quick motorcycle.
Ooh, nice.
So thinking that's going to be the partner for this big old truck.
Right.
Like, I'll have a couple motorcycles riding shotgun to be like distracting. So the big old truck can just roll in and smash into you.
Yeah, there you go.
That's kind of my vision. Kind of creating a little team spirit. Go team.
And you're going to call that team Nirvana.
That's a good name.
There you go. Smells like Team Spirit.
Yeah. All right. So while that dries, we'll go ahead and get the next piece of this done, which is getting the missile launcher glued in the back.
Woohoo!
I'm trying to think, do I want to go short or long?
That's a good question.
Well, if you look at the missile pods, let me zoom in real fast. It's not dead center for the mounting point.
Right.
So is this the back, the short end the back, or is the long end the back? I would think the long end is the back. But there's no way of really knowing.
Yeah. That does leave it open to however you want to do it. So it can go any way you want to.
Yeah. Well, I was on Facebook the other day and people were arguing about las guns and why they only get short range and they should go in infinity and beyond. And I'm like, really? And someone was like, heat dissipates and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh boy.
Really?
But it's just a game.
Yeah. Well, I told you about the time the historical guys at Waterloo were trying to write a fantasy game, right?
Yeah.
And they were trying to work out the physics of a fireball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, it's a fireball.
It doesn't exist. Yeah.
So so that alone frees you up from a lot of that. But
you shouldn't have to get too carried away.
That's what they do.
Do you think Tolkien sat around going, I don't really think that's how the Gazgul would do things. It's not realistic.
That dragon sleeping on gold, just there's a.
That's not what they would do. They would sleep in a natural habitat.
Well, there was actually an explanation. I don't know if it was Tolkien, but someone actually explained why dragons hoard gold, because the metal is soft, so they can actually lay on it.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'll go
sounds good. That sounds as good a reason as any to me.
Missile pod in place.
Attention, missile pod in place.
All right, and the challenge is going to be with this. So, what our goal is we want to glue these in, or we want to have these look like they're wired on, like they're just being held on by wire. So the advantage is there's these really nice grooves inside the missile itself. So that gives me a place to put my wire to make it look like they're wired on. And I'm probably just going to do it towards the back here. Just kind of like that. But the first thing I need to do is I need to trim that slab off right here. Because that is getting in the way of my progress. You're getting in the way of my progress. Oh. All right, so with that cleaned up, what I'll probably end up doing is just gluing these in place. And then I'll come in and put wires on after them. But I want to put like two. I want to have like two of them piled up there.
Right.
Just kind of, we're going to go very orcish here.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing at all. So let me chip off another one. I wonder if I should glue a harpoon on a motorcycle.
That would be cool.
Completely not practical, but it would be cool.
Well, it could be cool in a suicide kind of a way.
Oh, hey, I could do it. What movie's coming out next? Harlequin?
Suicide Squad?
Well, no, Suicide Squad's already been out.
Yeah, there's a second one coming out.
Oh, is that what it? I saw a Harlequin comment made, and someone talking about Harlequin coming back out.
Yeah, there's a Peter Gunn did Suicide Squad 2.
Okay,
and Harley Quinn's in it. Yeah,
Suicide Squad, the first one, didn't really get me all that excited.
I enjoyed it.
It was fun to watch, but it wasn't like, yeah. I don't know.
Well, I've learned with you in movies that unless it's Starship Troopers, you don't ever really get that. Yeah.
I'm glad you finally figured me out.
Because you do love yourself some Starship Troopers.
Well, I did watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the second one.
Second episode, yeah.
Second episode. It was good. The first one was called Suicide Squad. The new one is called The Suicide Squad. Well, all right. I'm glad we got that clarification from them.
And it's got a lot more people in it.
A lot more like bad guys and good guys.
A lot more. There are a lot more people in Suicide Squad than in the first one. Idris Elba's in it. Cena is in it. The wrestler.
Oh, okay.
He's in it. King Shark is one of the characters. Polka Dot Man is one of the characters. Captain Boomerang's back.
Captain Boomerang.
You remember him from the first one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He's in it. So
is Will Smith going to be in it, or
nope? He did not sign on for it.
That's a bummer. I really like him as an actor.
Me too. I actually last night, just because I felt like watching it again, I watched Bright again on Netflix.
That was such a good movie.
A lot movie gets if you talk to critics, it got a bad rap, but I actually enjoy it.
Well, I try not to talk to critics, especially if they have a YouTube channel.
I like to watch it. I like to watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, and you can't get past it. But the critics pan this, or they got this Rotten Tomatoes rating. It's like, you know something? I spent 2 hours of my life not thinking about my life, so I'm entertained.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
If I start drifting off going, yeah, I got to get this done and that done, yeah, movie sucks.
All right, so here's the ad hoc missiles that I put on.
Ooh,
and again,
nice.
they're just
stored there. They're not mounted there. They're just stored there.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some really thin wire, and I'm going to wrap some wire around it to make it look like the wire's holding them in place.
That's what I'm saying. They're not hard mounted hard points.
Nope.
They're wired as stowage.
Yep, that's exactly it.
I want to make sure I'm getting at what you're trying to convey.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm conveying.
Yeah, those missiles are just stowage.
But we're doing it very redneck style.
So now I know if I ever play that vehicle, shoot the missile.
Yes.
That's exactly. John Travolta in I can't remember the movie now. It was Christian Slater, John Travolta. Please don't shoot at the thermonuclear weapons.
That was Rock.
It was not Rock.
No,
Rock was Nick Cage and Sean Connery. This was about that
was the hijack.
Yeah, where John Travolta was a bad guy.
Two-Face or Switch-Face or
it wasn't Face Off.
Oh, okay. Yeesh. What one are we thinking then?
It was God, I used to do this in my sleep. Just quote movies and talk about movies, but now my memory is just so bad.
But I'm visualizing it, and I'm like
Broken Arrow.
What's that?
The movie's called Broken Arrow.
That's it. It was a hijack type of a thing.
They basically fake. John Travolta fakes a B-2 or a B-1 bomber, a B-2 bomber crashing. They eject the nuclear weapons, and then he comes in to try to steal them. And Christian Slater's his co-pilot, who ends up thwarting his evil plan. And there's one scene where they're shooting, and John Travolta, in a very great part, goes, "Please do not shoot at the thermonuclear weapons."
Yes.
And I just find that
a very John Travolta way.
That was a lot of work to get to the quote.
And we appreciate you doing it.
I have a headache now.
But it has nothing to do with getting to the quote.
Well, there's my washing as it's progressing so far on this lightning claw.
Hold on, let me give you full screen, buddy.
Let me turn this top light off here.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
And that's with the white wash that you
yeah, that's the white. Well, that's me building that up with white ink.
All right.
So it's slowly getting there. And now I got to do. There's a lot of gold ornate trimming on this. I got to do.
Sure.
And here's the Hellfrost cannon, which is one of the weapons.
Sweet.
Now, see what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a collage picture for this because he gets all these weapon options. So this is the first weapon I've got done. The lightning claw goes over here, which does not change, but this one can be the Hellfrost cannon, the assault cannon, which is what he's known for.
Right.
It can be a multi-melta, or it could be, and this is my favorite one, a gigantic plasma cannon.
So instead of Mr. Potato Head, you have Mr. Weapon Arms.
I have whatever weapon you want to put in my right arm. I've got the only one I don't have that I'm not going to do is a twin last cannon because I'm not a big fan of twin last cannon. But the first one I got,
I'm sure you would do it.
No, I have one. I just don't care for the weapon, and as far as gameplay goes. So,
well, you could still put it on.
And then we do the claw. The claw.
La claw.
I'm waiting for inks to dry.
Well, I'm just going to glue this on. I'm pretty much going to call it a night. So,
okay.
Let me, because it's about 8:30.
Yeah, if it only was 8:30.
Time is it for you?
Of course, it's not midnight. I shouldn't complain. But I'm really glad you liked the new intro, by the way.
I love it. I love everything that you've created so far. It's awesome.
Yeah. I even added a tidbit for Saturday morning show for What's New with Mike and Jeff. So that should be cool too.
It'll be fun to see who all recognizes what you did for Saturday's show.
We'll see if they're paying attention.
All right, so here's where I'm at with this build, you guys. Whoops. Kind of focusing in. So
I love the wire. The addition of the wire is awesome.
Yeah, I just threw on some quick wire. It's just some thin gauge planning. What do they call this? 26 gauge, 1/4 pound wire. I don't know. Something I got at the hobby store.
Hobby stuff.
But it's just to kind of add something to the weapons to make it look like they're being held down.
Right.
Got this in place. Those are the actual missile pods. The box is drying. So what I'll probably end up doing is tomorrow after I get off work, I'll just literally just take a sanding stick, a coarse sanding stick, and grind that down to the bottom, and it'll be done. And then for the most part, this car is done. Like, all I want to do, the few little details that I want to add is I want to add some really cool exhaust pipes on it.
Right.
I'm thinking something sticking out, coming up behind the doors or behind the fenders here.
Right.
Some kind of exhaust pipe sticking out, or maybe drill a hole in the fender wells here and just put some brass tubing coming out. Oh, as soon as let me zoom out a little bit.
Go full screen.
But maybe I'll just drill some holes. Let me get my pointy stick. Like right here and right there, and just do some like tubes sticking out. Or I'll just take the ones off of Implements of Carnage that have like the holes drilled in the side of it, and just stick those coming out the sides. Because ideally the exhaust pipes are coming out right here on the Aragonstein. When you put the plastic in, I don't like that. I think that looks a little weird.
Yeah.
They
don't do that on mine.
So anywho, that's kind of where I'm at with David's car. And then we did the dualies in the back with his wheels. And I do love his wheels. I love how they look great on this build. So and I think once we got that done, I'll use the stock engine. I'll probably cut the pipes off the top of the stock engine and do the blower like I do on the rest. But the other thing I want to get rid of is the sunroof. I don't like the sunroof, just in general. I just don't like the sunroof. So
made me nostalgic for my Aragonstein build.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Because I pulled and my engine's in the back with the exhaust, the exhaust flaring out the sides of it back there.
Right. Oh yeah. I remember that bad boy.
The purple one. It's awesome.
The purple loving machine.
I need to add some striping to it.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah,
my favorite one though is still the dynamic dually.
The dynamic, yes.
Where's that? It's missing. My dually's missing.
It's so dynamic, it's missing.
You can't beat those wheels.
Yeah, when I did that to the truck, I just didn't like it. I don't know why. I don't think they were right for the truck.
No, I agree. That's part. Again, that goes back to my pre-planning stuff. I've got to sit down and I can't say I don't have the time. I haven't taken the time to sit down and go through my parts and start working on my next build. So,
well, and when I did the dualies on the truck, I just slapped the dualies on the back of the truck and said, "I'll see how this looks." Yeah. And when I got a bill, I'm like, "Yeah, I don't like it," so I just cut them off. So that's the difference.
That's the big difference.
Sometimes I just get a little crazy and just do stuff. Anyway,
I don't have any problem doing that with everything else, but on the die cast stuff, I don't know why I just have a tendency to try to plan it more.
Well, definitely tune in next week, you guys, because we're going to take a closer look at this. What are they even calling this? Railing Express.
Oh, that's the big, the one I called Frankenfurter.
Yeah, so we're going to take
I want to see it without the chrome to get an idea about the detail.
Exactly, and that's my take. I think the chrome takes away a lot from the car. So, and I could be completely wrong. I could dechrome it, and it's just going to look silly. And I'll be like, okay, it didn't work.
I have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So tune in next week. when we show off another car. Anyways, Wednesday night, what is going to be the Wolf's Den?
Yeah.
And then we'll be back on Saturday with What's New with Mike and Jeff, 7 o'clock in the morning Arizona time. And head on over to the Discord channel if you want to enter a model into the painting competition. Adam, as always, thank you very much for showing up and hanging out with us, buddy. I can't wait to see what you turn in.
Yeah, me neither.
I know you're doing some really cool War Machine stuff, so I can't wait to see.
I'm hoping to see some good dialogue with the guys with their entries. I'm hoping to see the guys to kind of have a lot of give and take on what they're doing, and that's when it really gets exciting. So,
well, I'm hoping on Saturday to have my Gasgul base coated in yellow so that I can start and wash, so I can start dry brushing the armor back up and getting the green skin tones and everything in. Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you for joining us today, sir. And thank you for all your cast-off Hot Wheels. I will take them gladly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But yes, so I'm hoping on Saturday to just be cranking on some painting.
That'd be great. I can't wait to see him in yellow. That's good. I'm real excited to see how that works. Especially with how you're doing the yellow. I think it's going to look awesome.
I haven't seen a yellow one yet.
No,
everybody's just done their black.
Yeah.
Well, because technically he is the leader of the Goth army and all that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of people just go with the black. I am not. I am a special snowflake, as we have determined multiple times. And I will go down my own road and let you know.
Yes. And I that's what I admire about you.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you all very much for hanging out with us today. And we will be back on Wednesday night for a Wolf's Den. So you guys take care and have a great week. Bye.
See you guys.